we had better retention metrics, better, we used to call it stickiness factor, which is DAU by MAU. Majority people came to the platform every day to read it. Than Madhukar told us, than initial days of ShareChat or Clip had it. So he was very excited. We were very excited. Amazing. Everything is going amazing. So, then we went out, okay, we have less money. So it ran out pretty quickly, in a year, I think, almost. And we needed to raise the next funds. And we were like, people would be ready to give us money. Nobody did.
Hi, I'm Gaurav, founder and CEO at Sherlocks AI. Today we have Vipul, who is the founder and CTO of Lokal with us. Hi, Vipul.
Hello, Gaurav. Or should I say GT?
Yes, I think you should say
Say
GT,
GT.
because that's how long back we go. So Vipul and I were the part of our college festival organizing committee at Mood Indigo, and we did a bunch of work together. Vipul, do you recall any instances from that time?
Yeah, we used to call it MI. And I was a part of the creatives team under GT. I was a freshman at that time in my first year, maybe second year. Yeah, in my second year. And GT came to us with a plan, an idea, a vision in his mind that there are, I think, 50,000 people that come to MI every year.
Yeah.
And everybody has to go through paper registrations everywhere. They register themselves at once at the main gate, then they register in each competition, and we have to keep track of so many papers because of so many competitions. He came with a vision. I'm going to completely remove all of that. We are going to build a system. There'll be computers at every station. People will register there, and it will, the whole vision was so inspiring that I joined his team, and that was the first time I started building something.
You know the reason behind that vision? Because
No.
the year before that, I was typing the certificates manually.
Oh.
All 4 days of Mood Indigo, when everyone was like
Enjoying.
either doing some work or enjoying, I was doing the most boring work, which was printing certificates.
Oh God.
And that it was a backtracking from that point that I don't want anyone to be doing this.
Got it. Yeah, that work you gave me finally, huh?
And I remember, like, it was such a great feeling. Like, I don't know, I think I'm out of words to describe that feeling, but when you press that button to print the certificates,
I remember it because for me, I was working on your vision, and I built that certificate printing automation, and almost we had to print 4,000 certificates. I think all participation certificates, winner certificates. 4,000 certificate printing would have been a tedious job last year.
Yeah.
So when I built it, and everyone was present, it is the last fourth day of Mood Indigo when we have to give it out. It was the last day. Everybody was in the room, and I clicked one button, and certificates started coming out of the printer. It was a DeskJet printer, slowly printing all letters. First one came out. GT was like magic. Then 20, then 30. Then we had to start putting it all across the room because the ink has to dry. They can't overlap each other. And I could see 1 year worth of vision of work just come to fruition. It was such a great moment. We enjoyed it. It's such a small win, right?
Yeah.
Just automated certificate printing, but it was so enjoyable. I think that stuck with me, the joy of building and then coming to see the fruition of it. When somebody sees that all that work has paid off, I think that joy stayed with me for a very long time.
Amazing. Yeah, that was a different time, and I enjoyed every moment of it, working together with you guys. And then you went on after the college. You went on to join
Qualcomm.
Yeah. And you stayed there for
about 3.5 years. I stayed there, and then another senior of ours, or college mate of ours, Pupun, Aniket Behra, he had a startup called GoZoomo, and I went to him for advice that I have spent 3 years at Qualcomm. I've done a lot of work in IoT, on hardware, on mobile chips, which was booming in India at that time. But I was not getting the fulfillment and the joy that we got at MI. Oh, Aniket was also an MI senior of ours. So I went to him, and he said, if you want to build something, build it for us. I wanted to build an IoT for cars to help them find how a car is, to decide whether it should be bought, at what price it should be bought. So he put me in touch with Jani, who used to work with him as the product manager, and we worked together to build that. We took 6 to 8 months. We built something. We also started testing it out in cars, but then GoZoomo decided that they don't want to continue anymore. But me and Jani stuck together. Jani is now my co-founder at Lokal. We both shared the same joy of building. So yeah, we stuck together. Now, I left my job in 2016 in Qualcomm. It is 2026, almost 10 years.
Amazing. Tell us about the Lokal journey. How did it start? What it is now? And any key moments in between that you think, like in a company which has survived 8 years now, there are many moments where you think you're almost dead. There are some moments which are exhilarating and pure joyous. Like, tell us about this whole local journey.
So me and Jani, we first started building something called the soup. We thought that news should be delivered and consumed in a certain manner. It should not be siloed. You should read all sides of things. You should follow a topic from beginning to end, what is happening, and summarize it and give it to users. This is what we believed. So we started building that product. We built it. We wanted to reach perfection. So we built it for 4-5 months. Then we gave it out to some of our friends and all. And we were very excited. Friends were like, your idea is great. This is amazing. I mean, everybody should have such a product. And we were very happy. And then we started tracking the usage. I mean, the 50 friends of ours, nobody used to open the app itself. So, I mean, we went back.
Just friends being nice to you.
Yeah. We asked them, what is happening? I just discussed this with you. You were like, this should exist. But we realized that what people find ideal is different than how they actually behave in real life. And we realized that the kind of questions we were asking to understand whether this product would work were themselves wrong. So then we went back to the drawing board, me and Jani. We actually went with contextual inquiry, something that is taught in interaction design courses. We learned that. And we went and interviewed around 500 people. We took help from we took some interns from IIT Kharagpur, and we talked to 500 people. And then we realized there is a difference in consumption pattern of tier 1 people like us, our friends, and tier 2, tier 3, which are people, our family, relatives, places where we come from, small towns in India. And we realized that tier 2, tier 3 people, in most of their free time, want to consume information from in and around that area. These are people who are reading local newspaper and they travel from home to office in a bus. They are traveling 40-50 kilometers going from their village to the nearest town. These are people who are, following some Facebook groups that have started disseminating information. They were following some WhatsApp groups where their journalist friend is sharing news and information. And we realized that this is a huge market and nobody is solving it. There are separated small local newspapers in a lot of places. There is no single one big player. And we thought that we will create this ourselves, a digital newspaper for every district in India, where people can know and understand very trusted information from their locality. So with that vision, in 2018, me and Jani, we raised funds from India Quotient and we started building. Before building, we had to prove whether it will work. So we started a WhatsApp group in which, in Kodad, where Jani is from, a small town called Kodad, we got one journalist to join that group and he started adding information there. He added a few friends of his, then they added more people. That one group grew to 8 groups. And that was enough proof point for both us and our investors, Madhukar at India Quotient. So we got together and we started building the product and we launched it actually today, 8 years ago, 24th of April, we launched our product into the market.
Amazing. I'm so glad that we caught you on this auspicious day.
Thanks. Yeah, I just realized.
Amazing. And so you were doing something which, let's say, like YC teaches before even you joined YC.
Yeah.
Tell us about the YC experience. How did you get in? It took a bunch of attempts to get into YC, but YC did carve out an exception for you guys, which is quite interesting. So tell us about your YC journey, learnings from YC.
So basically, sitting in India and building startups at the time, we used to read a lot of things, and we were inspired by Paul Graham always. Paul Graham used to tell, make what people want, build what people want, understand what they really need, and that's how you will get product love, user love, and that's how you can grow. So, I mean, we forgot about that when we were building the soup, but when we actually built local, that was the core of it. So we applied to YC with the soup's idea also, then with local's idea also. I think it was our 4th attempt that we finally got into YC. And I think we didn't deserve the other 3 attempts actually. So finally we actually did realize we found something that people wanted. We found the proof of it and we were able to convince the team at YC to take us in. And I went to the US, stayed there for 3 months. It was a boot camp of sorts. I had not worked in startups before. This is the first attempt I was doing. And I had actually not built anything post our MI gig. I was working in Qualcomm on hardware. So that bootcamp helped me a lot. They taught a lot of basic stuff. Why A/B testing is important, how to do A/B testing, how to talk to people, how do you inquire, how do you understand whether they are, they are just being nice to you, that's why they are answering something. How do you go into depth? How do you go into why of everything and go deep and understand them? So a lot of things I learned at YC. I remember one point where Michael Siebel, who was the founder of Twitch was the biggest live streaming platform of at that, maybe of all time. And I was very inspired because we were trying to build a social media.
This was after Twitch was acquired by Amazon.
Yes. Yeah, this is after Twitch was acquired. Michael joined YC as a partner, and he was our partner. So he told me that till that point, me and Jani were like co-founders. He was doing some coding, I was doing some coding. He was doing some marketing, some content he was taking care of, some content I was taking care of. So we had not really defined any roles, and we thought this is how we should function. Michael told us, no, you should have clearly defined titles. We used to call ourselves just co-founders. He told us, no, there has to be a CEO. There has to be a CEO of a company, because investors, I don't know, at least in the US, would want to talk to a CEO.
Okay.
And then I took on the title of CTO. So now I'm CTO of Lokal, and Jani is the CEO of Lokal.
But other than CTO, other than just the technical responsibilities, there are a bunch of things that fall under your responsibilities.
Yeah, we organically, whatever we are good at and whatever we are passionate about, we want to contribute. We take up those responsibilities, and it's pretty organically divided between us. And yeah, I think I've been lucky to find a co-founder. We had complementary skills. We had a lot of respect for each other. He understands where I come from. I understand where he's coming from. So yeah, we are called CEO and CTO, but I think we define what we want to work on, and we talk about it almost every day. Every day when I reach office, we have a conversation of 30 minutes. We sync up, and before going home, we sync up for 30 minutes. I think that ritual has helped us constantly keep evolving in our roles. 8 years, we have actually gone from having 0 employees to now around 500 in our team. So
wow, that's amazing. And surviving a partnership for 8 years is no joke. Like, even the best of the friends do not make it to 8 years as co-founders. There was also, like, when you were starting, there were a bunch of companies who were doing something similar.
Yeah.
And in fact, a bunch of those companies had raised a lot more money than you did.
Correct.
But tell me about that story, and how did it unfold over the next few months or years?
So basically, when we were building our thesis, when we were talking to investors, we realized that there are some other people also doing the same. We believed we were the right team to do it. We had experience. We had actually built and failed one English news product before that. So we went ahead and raised with India Quotient. But as soon as we did, within a month, 3 other companies also closed their pre-seed, seed rounds. Companies which were 10 times more funded than us, companies which were 5 times more funded than us. So yeah, we decided that all of that doesn't matter. We'll have to build. And we had given Madhukar, our partner at India Quotient, a plan for a year. You give us this much money, and in a year we'll have, I remember the target we took was 250,000 daily active users. That was our target. In a year we'll be there.
Which is not a small target. 250,000 daily active users is a huge target.
It is a huge target. Madhukar had experience building Clip and ShareChat. Hence, he decided that Lokal will do it much faster. First 250K, Lokal will reach much faster. And so yeah, we went around building it. And one of the most joyous moments, just like we were talking about MI, is that year of planning, of deciding, of raising that fund, and then starting to build our product. All that started coming to fruition. Every month we were hitting our target. Every month we used to message Madhukar on WhatsApp. Madhukar,
that is crazy. Like an investor would start thinking that there's something fishy going on here, because I can say that with confidence that 95% of the times it does not happen, whatever target you set out, because naturally we as entrepreneurs try to set targets which are beyond achievable.
Correct.
But just, and I'm sure, like, you didn't set it from the point of view that this will be easy target.
You
set difficult targets for yourself.
Yes.
But I can imagine the joy of achieving those targets, even those difficult targets, month on month and for the year would be exhilarating.
So we had made those projections before we raised. So they were like, oh, we can do this. It was essentially something that we had put it on an Excel sheet so that we can raise money.
Yeah.
But then we actually were able to follow it. That gave us so much confidence that people really do want what we want to build, what we are building. We had better retention metrics, better we used to call it stickiness factor, which is DAU by MAU. Majority people came to the platform every day to read it. Than Madhukar told us, than initial days of ShareChat or Clip had it. So he was very excited. We were very excited. Amazing. Everything is going amazing. So then we went out, okay, we have less money. So it ran out pretty quickly in a year, I think almost. And we needed to raise the next funds. And we were like, people would be ready to give us money. Nobody did. So that was, immediately after a high, there was a sudden drop. We realized that all the people who are active in the seed market at that time, who can give us, checks of 3 million to 5 million, or maybe even 1 million, they had actually all taken bets in our competitors directly. So that money dried up very quickly. There were a few funds that we were talking to, but they didn't really have the conviction in market of tier 2, tier 3, whether they'll be able to pay. A lot of articles were being written about, these people are just DAU farm, MAU farm. People will come onto the platform. You will spend money to bring them on the infrastructure and everything, and they will never pay you. The ARPUs were pretty low. Facebook's data used to say that India is the lowest ARPU, lowest ad business market in the whole world. So we got nothing, but we got selected into YC at the same time. And we were able to find some investors from the US. And 314 Capital also came on board. So we were able to put together a seed round to fight the next phase of our fight.
Pretty interesting. Now, from here, so let's talk about revenue, ARPU. You mentioned something about it. And I do have a thing or two as experience on that front. Having been the CTO at .NET, it was exceptionally difficult to get money, or either money directly from the users, revenue directly from the users, charging them, or getting ad revenues from tier 2, tier 3 cities. How did you make it happen? Because as far as I know, you are now a profitable company. I've been a profitable company for a while now. And it's a huge achievement, I would say. Like targeting the tier 2, tier 3 Indian market and still being profitable is, having experienced it myself, it is no easy feat. It is extremely difficult. Tell us about that monetization journey.
Yeah, there were a lot of small decisions, I think, that made us pull through. Now in hindsight, they feel like, I decided, I made those decisions, but it could have gone either way. Even small decisions as choosing my tech stack to be Django Python, which something you were very excited about in college itself when Django was first introduced on Python. So I took that tech stack. We had to write very few lines of code to achieve a lot of things. That framework helped me, being the only engineer, scale it up to 1 million users. The decision then we will fundraise when we need it. When we need the money, then we'll fundraise. We'll not over-raise, because over-raising, then you lose the discipline. You start spending more on stuffs that don't really add to the product. You just market more. You have a leaky bucket. You're still marketing.
More vanity than real metrics.
So that we didn't have a lot of money, so we had the discipline. These small decisions helped us survive the whole COVID time when our computers actually shut down. All of our computers did shut down. And that also drove us to try early monetization. In ad market, nobody thought that. Everybody said you will have 20, 30 million users. That's when, you can start doing ads. That's when advertisers will believe in you. You will have enough market, enough audience that they will want to invest. Otherwise, who wants to spend money for reaching out to maybe a few million users? Yeah. But necessity was there. We needed to monetize. We needed some money to come in. So we decided we will do advertisements of small business, SMBs. SMBs will do advertisement. We were a district newspaper. SMBs of that district, of that town, will do advertisements on us. And what kind of advertisement people do on newspaper? They are classifieds like jobs. They are my shop is opening. This is the discount, Diwali sale. These kind of advertisements. We started taking in these small advertisements. First month we started it, this was during COVID time. I remember we got 1 lakh of revenue in our first month when we started it. It went to 5 lakhs in the next month. And within 8 months, we had 50 lakh coming every month. This is again one of those moments ki yaar, bol rahe the hum. Like we knew that this market will pay if you build something for it. They don't have any platform where they would want to advertise, which is at their price point, their audience of their town. Facebook is way too complex. It didn't have density. We had 3-4 times the density of a local newspaper. We had more people on our platform coming daily than the number of copies that were being distributed in that district. 4-5 times more. So, that proof point was again a high for us. it felt like we've proved to everyone who said no to us that yes, these people will pay. You just need to make something that they want to use.
That's incredible. I think it proves a couple of things. One is that frugality takes you a long way. Like until you have hit that product market fit, keeping your expenses low is something that helps a lot of companies. Such as, like, in your case, it helped you a lot.
Correct.
Survive that winter.
Correct.
And second is, necessity is the mother of innovation.
Correct.
So you had to.
We had to monetize. Otherwise, if we had more money, we would have waited further. This basically, one more thing which I've realized recently is either you have insights or you make actions so that you can get insights.
Elaborate on that.
So in the journey, whenever you are building anything, right, you have to understand what insights do you have which are not there till now. What is new in the market that you now know, which can help you build a feature or build any product. So you're always on the discovery of new insights. That's how you keep building. Okay, something we have learned today. And sometimes insights are not forthcoming. They'll just not come and fall in your lap. You have to do something for it. So actions lead to insights. If we had not decided to monetize, we would not have known what kind of price point to put. So we decided we'll monetize. We'll start with something. We don't know the best price. We'll not wait for, do like extensive studies, talk to so many people to get a price point. We'll start. We'll price it at 200. We'll see. People are okay. We'll make it a little higher. We'll try. We'll keep making actions so that we keep getting more insights. That early monetization journey of ours gave us a pathway of where should we go from here. How do you build this product which was completely free content for everyone to something that people will pay for reach, pay for whatever, like what kind of ads would work. And that action led to us learning so many things. And since we did it very early in our journey, we could pave a path ki how can content be monetized before you've already raised $100 million and now you're trying to monetize and you realize, we don't know anything about it. The DNA is not there in the company. Everything is built around free content. So it helped us very early in our journey to think of everything, every product we launch, everything we do. Will people pay for it and how much will they pay for it? So your costs and expenses, you have to decide just with that in mind. So how big a team can you hire for building something? Will come from how much monetizing potential is there. That's something in hindsight we were able to do. We were able to plan our team, our growth, etc. based on how much monetization we could do.
Interesting. And of course, once you start spending on something, it's very difficult to cut back those expenses. So it makes a lot of sense to think about how much is the monetization potential of it from day one.
Correct.
And then allocate resources, plan it out accordingly.
Correct.
Interesting. So tell us about the local portfolio. Now it's not just a local app, it's a portfolio of applications. Tell us about that evolution from a single app to multiple apps. Why did you decide to do that? And you did a recent rebrand from local app to just local. Tell us about that.
Like I said, we were a district newspaper. We had content, then we had classifieds, there were jobs, there were matrimonials, there was real estate, there was normal buy and sell, people selling phones, tractors, cars, weird things, cows, etc. on our platform. So we started realizing when we talked to users that a lot of people had come to our applications, downloaded it for a very specific single thing. They've heard from a friend. Now these are high density, high trust societies where people are talking to each other. Okay, I found a job on local. You can also download. Now they have downloaded, but the whole homepage was either news or there was a complex navigation to go into finding an actual, like, where do I create my job profile? Where can I find it? So we went into actually 2-3 redesigns of our app just to make this journey smoother. We kept trying new things. Then we realized that maybe navigation is something that mobile first people are not very comfortable with. We understood, we were trying to emulate what WeChat had done. But what broke that was TikTok. Simple. No navigation. So then we also learned from it. We created a separate application for jobs because that was our biggest revenue vertical at that time. And we saw all metrics, all funnel metrics, all monetization metrics were much better in that. So then we separated out matrimony also. That also was much better than the matrimony that existed in our app. So we realized that, yes, the super app that we were pitching till now doesn't work. And
I'm kind of confused why, because across the globe, especially in China, we know that WeChat has cracked that super app concept. In fact, for the most part, let's say Uber, for example, is a super app in many ways. In Southeast Asia, Grab, etc., are all super apps. So what, in your opinion, what are the reasons why that has not caught up in India? Like, you you need separate apps for separate audience. For simple problems such as navigation, they are not able to figure out navigation from this point, from the homepage to the specific need that they have.
Yeah, I think it boils down to how people evolve in their journey of using digital products. Um, so in China and all, I believe what happened was everybody came onto WeChat first, and then from there on, new services were built. In US, everybody came onto Craigslist first, and from there on, new services were built. In India, everything was being built in parallel. Somebody was building a super app, somebody was building a vertical app. Everybody was being built. Everything was being built in parallel. And people started using, instead of going into one application and then searching on it what to do, they were actually searching on Play Store directly of what to do. So the biggest thing, Play Store became their search engine kind of. They were not searching inside there. Their Play Store was the super app. So now in our portfolio, we kept separating out our application. We got insights from our local app on our buy and sell classifieds. We kept getting more and more insights about what people are advertising, what people are clicking on, and we started building a lot of verticals. We now have around 8 verticals, and we rebranded into Lokal, which is a digital conglomerate for Bharat. And we thought a lot about the name, what we should rebrand into. Our company is called Behtar Technology, which is close to my heart, like a better technology. We thought we'll call it Behtar. It didn't really, catch. But then we decided, what are we? We are local. हम इस देश के हैं, इन देश के लोगों के लिए बना रहे हैं. We are local. So we just called ourselves Lokal.
Very interesting. So now it's Lokal as the parent conglomerate, and then there's a local app, there's a matrimony app, there's a jobs app, and you said 8 verticals. Do all 8 verticals have their own apps? Or?
Yeah, they all have their own apps. We have something called Astro Local for astrology. We have Agri Local, where we help farmers connect to agronomists, scientists that can help them increase their yield, reduce pests, etc. We have a vertical called Ease, where people can go and talk about their issues, their problems in life. There are listeners, there are trained behavioral therapists, there are psychologists also. These are our platforms now.
Very interesting. One problem that, in fact, we tried to do something like this, separating some of the apps at Doubtnut. But the hypothesis that, one app will funnel users automatically into the other app works for a very small fraction, but does not work necessarily always.
Correct.
So, which means that the cost of acquisition overall goes up.
Correct.
Have you seen such patterns, and how have you still kept your cost of acquisition lower for all these new properties?
Interesting. So basically, like I said, with frugality came unit economics. So we only launch and we only scale the properties or applications which are doing well, which have their economics sorted. So we are building for high demand use cases. And we have seen that when you keep a monetization from the start, you get a much better idea of what your CAC versus LTV would be and whether it will become into a big business and will it be profitable ever or not. So yes, all the applications that we have in the market right now that we have built, which are scaling, there are some experiments that keep happening, but the ones which are scaling all have a CAC under control and their LTVs are greater than 2 or 3 times the CAC. That is how we are scaling. Now we do realize, and we did see, that there is a lot of overlap of people on the apps, and that we have now built an infrastructure that finds out these commonalities, and we are able to cross-sell. Somebody who is on our matrimony platform would also want to look at Kundlis, understand what kind of partner they should look for. So they come onto our astrology app to do that. People who are looking for jobs generally are in that age range. They're also looking to get married. So there is a lot of overlap between them. Yeah, I mean, these are all real problems of real people, and we shouldn't shy away from, acknowledging that. Rather, I think I would want to invest into solutions, how to solve these for people. And three problems that our tier 2, tier 3 users faced in solving any of these. First is access. Everybody who is good, any good doctor, any good lawyer, any good psychologist, any good astrologer even, they all want to move to a city, because city is higher density. In an offline market, you have to sit in a high density market to be able to get that much revenue if you are ambitious, if you are good. So first problem is access. They don't get access to quality professionals in their area. The second was the price point. So if you have to go to the city to do it, it is more expensive than a city dweller.
Right.
You have to first travel, you have to probably stay, And these are experiences that our family had living in small towns. If they have to go for any medical thing, I mean, they have to travel first. They have to stay there for 2-3 days, go in and out of hospital. So the access is a big problem. Second is the price point. And the third was this quality itself. How to find the best quality people. Like, I mean, you are having to go to another place. How will you like search for and find? So we built our platforms, digital platforms, to solve all three of these: access, price point, and quality. We have to constantly keep working on these to be able to serve our users.
Got it. That's amazing how you've been able to pull this off. Because in my limited world of serving tier 2, tier 3 kind of audience, this was the biggest challenge. Monetization was the biggest challenge that we were not able to crack. But it's great to see that you guys are cracking it.
Thanks.
Kudos to you guys for doing this.
Thanks, GT.
So now let's touch upon the core of this podcast, which
Correct.
is breaking prod. But before that, let's understand what engineering at Lokal is.
Right.
How did it evolve from you as an individual contributor for the longest, then to building the team that you have today? What is the team structure? And then we'd love to know how you are leveraging AI today, both in terms of the development and efficiency, as well as in terms of providing features to the users.
Right. So early on, just for simplicity's sake, I decided to build on Django. In Python, I had to write less lines of code. Django gave me an admin interface, which I can use to manage the whole software. So that helped me as a single engineer to scale it up to around 500K DAU kind of users. Django platform running on EC2 with a Postgres database behind it. Simple. Then we started adding more people because jobs vertical was picking up. News also required help. I also required help. So we hired engineers. Then we started running into problems of scale. It was easy for me to, go into two EC2s, do a git pull and just restart. Done. I mean, that's how we used to release. But things started breaking. I was the only engineer. I was the on-call engineer. I was the builder. I have released something in the night because that's when the traffic was lowest. At 1 a.m., 2 a.m., I'm up and I've released something. In the morning, 5 a.m., somebody is writing the first piece of news of the day. And they would give a call to me and I'll pick up in the night after sleeping. क्या हुआ कि विपुल ये न्यूज़ जा ही नहीं रही है, तो नोटिफिकेशन नहीं जा रहा है, ये तो एरर आ रहा है, एरर. And I had to open my laptop, try to find out what did I release yesterday, man. What
and there's always, like, in your mind, whatever you released did not have any connection to the problem that you are facing.
No, I mean, it was perfectly working fine on my laptop. So it was morning 5 a.m., 6 a.m. Debugging. My wife was always like, what is this? I mean, what are you doing with your you are heading a company. This is every day. This became everyday news. And we realized we have to invest into infrastructure. So that's when I realized that simplicity is good up until some scale. Now you have to make your setup a little more malleable. We started moving into CI/CD. That was the first time I did CI/CD. And all of this, basically, I don't come from an engineering background, but I come from engineering background. I never built or developed these kind of systems before. I had not worked at any place before that. This was all learning on the job that I was doing. So we moved into CI/CD. We built a lot of things. That's how we scaled. Now we have about 50 people in our engineering team. I would say still small engineering team for the kind of users we serve, the number of users, the scale, as well as the revenue we pull in. I've always been a strong believer in all-round development of engineering and giving a lot of ownership and a lot of responsibility to young folks. And then and they've always surprised me with the amount of things they can achieve if just given the right environment to do things. And that has helped us scale a lot with a small engineering team. They're all stars, according to me.
And what is your scale now?
Okay, so in a lot of terms, we have about 10 million users coming onto our platforms together every day. We do
10 million?
Yeah.
Wow. That's a huge number. That's, I think...
And these are, all our platforms are now paid. They're all transacting. These are not free users. So we have around 1 million transactions being done on our platforms in a month, maybe more than 1 million now. So all of this is running on the same Python Django stack that I started with. But now we have so many services, microservices. We have Kubernetes. We have around 300 or odd pods running. We have 7 to 8 different kinds of databases. And with all that infrastructure, we have a lot of logging and monitoring set up. We have set up Signos in one place. We have set up ELK, which is collecting some other logs. There is always CloudWatch, which is collecting all our infrastructure, data points, metrics. Now the setup is complex.
So, would you rather pick this complexity early on and avoid those 2 a.m., 5 a.m. debugging, or would you still do that and make things complex, solve for the problems as you hit them?
Something GT we also talked about in our college also, and something which is philosophy of Django itself or Python itself. They call it simple is better than complex. They always follow. Python generally follows if there is a simpler way to do it, a more readable way to do it, you go do that. And I would not trade it. I think that that 2 a.m. getting up, that small team that I was running, that is what taught me how to not do things. I don't want any of my engineers to have similar experience than what I had. If I didn't have that, if I always had a lot more people, if I had a lot of services built, two things could have happened. Either I would have never understood what breaking prod means, or I would have actually run out of money long time back. So I would not rate it. I believe everything that we did in hindsight was the right decision. That is how we were able to build an all-star team. We were able to understand what culture is, what responsibility is, what it means to own or care about the product that you are building, you are releasing. But I do also understand that it's not scalable. It is not, I can do it because I was the founder, but I don't expect it to be done by everyone. I don't want my engineers to go through the same. So we have to invest in good infrastructure, but at the right time.
Makes sense. Like investing too early, and you're also in many ways building the culture accordingly. Like people are then looking for more complex ways to solve the simpler problems, which is the anti-Pythonic way to do things.
Yes.
But that makes a lot of sense. At the same time, and having been there, especially at .NET, where almost similar stories. Like we were releasing at 2 a.m. There was no one available at 2 a.m. to merge a pull request or review the request, because whatever was the commitment to release the product was the commitment.
Correct.
We had to
release the same day.
Release that. So I would help with some PR review at this would be like 3 a.m. and then the next morning, more often than not, it would fail for some or the other reason. Related, unrelated does not matter. It would fail. And then again, like being the CTO, being the head of engineering, I believe that the responsibility of downtimes is completely on you. For anything else, let's say the product or product not achieving its intended metrics, or product metrics or business metrics, that is still a shared responsibility. But anything failing in production is something that you as a CTO own completely. So I would also be on those morning 7 a.m. debugging calls, and that was exactly the thing that my wife also was super pissed about, also for the right reasons. That
they were more concerned.
They were more concerned, right? You're sleeping at this time, you're waking up again at 6 a.m. and constantly in stress. So exactly, and that's primarily the reason why we started Sherlocks, because that's not the thing that I would want anyone to go through. I didn't want any one of my teammates to go through, even at .NET. But if there's a way to solve for it for the world, I would love to do that, and that's why we are building Sherlocks.
Right.
Yeah, like the end state of Sherlocks, we would love to see engineers sleeping through the night without ever waking up. The system itself is taking care of at least the problems that can be delayed until the morning in the worst case scenario. So yeah, that's what.
So when you came to me first time, when you told that you are building AI SRE, number one, I didn't understand the terms itself. But then you said, okay, let's do a pilot, let us integrate. And the first time I started seeing some things coming out of Sherlock, I was actually pleasantly surprised. I was surprised with what kind of potential AI has, what all it can do. So like I was talking about our infrastructure, there are so many things it distributed across so many places, so many monitoring places that people have to keep looking into. Now alerts, when alerts come, you have to go through, look at everything to understand where things are going wrong. And I saw Sherlock collect all that information together, then reason through it, Okay, I will look at logs first. I will look at Kubernetes logs. I will look at ingress. I will look at database metrics. I will look at everything and then finally give a summary. Okay, this is what I have found. This is almost how an engineer would do it. But this is being done within 5 minutes automatically. An engineer can just go read through it and understand whether they have made the right conclusions and then take the recommended step. Uh, I think we have some way to go into Sherlocks actually just fixing it also. But yeah, I'm just excited about the possibility that all of this can be done very quickly. It would become a self-healing infrastructure if you think like that. And there are a lot of decisions that we have to take whenever we are building a service, the amount of resources to allocate. We have to also balance the cost of it. And with all of that, there will always be need for alerting, monitoring, and then healing it. I think Sherlocks fit in very well. It's a problem that you faced, I faced, and I'm sure many CTOs that I've talked to, they have all faced it. So yeah, I'm very excited how AI and Sherlocks can help us.
We are super excited about it too. I think we are at a point where we see that a few months down the line, or maybe a year down the line, we will be there with self-healing systems, and that's the North Star for us.
Yeah,
that's what we are chasing. But we are so glad to hear this, that Sherlocks are already able to help you, and we want to keep on delivering on that promise.
Yeah, you just have to increase our free limit a little bit so that I can use it more. Yeah, we have been piloting Sherlocks for about 6 months now, and I've seen the journey it has taken, the amount of maturity the product now has, the insights that it is giving. We are also using AI in a lot of ways in our company, both from improving the efficiency of our engineers itself. And obviously, it's a FOMO world. People are talking crazy things about AI. Yeah. It always feels like maybe we are not doing enough. I'm sure you also feel, as an AI company itself, you must feel people are running agents, is doing everything. People are raking in $1 billion revenues with 1-2 people. Like everything is so much FOMO. But I also understand that maybe a lot of these things are being said in a completely different context, and we have to apply it in our company, in our place, in our position, in a manner that works for us. So experimentation has become the core. A lot of people are now doing experimentation and evaluation of AI tools, AI agents. I also feel that engineering mein coding was a very small piece. Even if there were a 10-day sprint, 2 weeks ka sprint hum log follow karte hain, but a lot of that sprint was about planning, about making sure that what we are building is good for the users, then planning how to build it, then actually build it, and then dev test it, and release to users. There are a lot of small things like branching, merging, resolving conflicts, checking performance, releasing on staging, then everything is done on staging, then releasing on production, do migrations, database. All those things still have to be, a lot of these things still have to be done manually. But the coding part has actually sped up a lot. So while productivity, people might say that 10x has happened, but they're talking about 10x of just that coding part.
Just the writing part.
Just the writing part. Yeah. The sprint has maybe sped up by 25%, 30%. One engineer is able to do more if they know exactly what they want to do. So yeah, productivity gains are there, but not as much as that. But I think tools like these, small things, one AI tool, one AI agent, which can solve one part of that sprint, one problem of that sprint, can actually then help us reach 10x. Maybe not today, but I'm very excited it might make us reach within 2 years. I think we should be there.
Makes sense. And I'm also quite skeptical of this one-person unicorns that we are talking about. I think even if on paper there may be some one-person unicorns, but under the hood there would be like a lot of things which are going on. Like, I mean, I find my Cloud Code to bug me with some stupid stuff, such as, I have given an instruction in the cloud.md file, but it's just not able to pick it up. And then I have to ask it that, why were you not able to pick it up? It says very innocently that, oh, sorry, I saw it, but somehow I didn't consider it. I don't want you to be an intern, which you are. Yeah. So, it's, hopefully we'll see some, at least a few people unicorns, if not one-person unicorns. But,
I think we always had the potential of a few people unicorns, but I'm sure behind that, what we don't see is you're buying a service. That service is putting some 100 people behind it, which is using 10 other services, putting 100 people behind it. I think it has become a, buy versus build versus borrow kind of a discussion. So one-person unicorn is actually you are buying most of the things. You are building a lot of things using cloud. And that is why you are able to build a one-person unicorn.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. Now, let's discuss some specific
Yes.
stories of how things broke in production. This is the most exciting part for us in this
I try to
podcast.
forget all of that. These are
Let's
all traumatic experiences
let's
which
bring
are
out some of that trauma.
yeah. So there are a lot of instances which I remember, which we racked our brain against. Basic things as we wanted to upgrade our database version. I don't remember which version to which version. It was one major version upgrade. We planned for a week or two. Okay, how we are going to do it? We're going to stop traffic. We're going to take a downtime. Then we are going to do an in-place upgrade. After that upgrade, we will slowly start putting traffic, and then we will do it. And all of this we wanted to do within an hour at the night between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. I still remember I was actually sitting at my home in my hometown, and we had to do it at that time. Uh, Everything went well according to plan. We just started putting traffic on the new version of the database, and we saw we were hoping that we'll get performance benefit, but we saw much degraded performance. And I had no clue what is happening, why. And at that time, I'm Googling, I'm trying to read what is Postgres, I'm going deep into documentation. What did I do wrong? Ran a lot of queries internal to Postgres to analyze where things are going, how many tuples are there, what is the indexing, what is the query planner doing. At that time, then I had to sleep. So I just increased my resources. I made like some replicas and I said, okay, I'm going to sleep. We'll look at the problem later. Finally, we realized it was one basic. We didn't do analyze or vacuum analyze after upgrading. I realized that when you upgrade, all the query planner history is all gone. It doesn't know anything how to do better. And while it's learning, the amount of traffic that we had was just pushing the database down. It just couldn't learn from that query pattern itself. Now, in this age of AI, I'm sure all of that information could have been crunched together within 5 minutes by AI agents, which I took, almost the whole night to figure out. So yeah, that is one nightmare that I keep remembering. Every time somebody does a database upgrade in our company, I tell them,
PTSD.
Go through this document. This is my life. This is my nightmare I put on paper for you guys to understand what I did wrong. So yeah, I mean, that trauma is there.
And just to add to it, the thing that you mentioned, that this is a document that maybe it's a literal document that you have put up, or it's just a notional document. But these are some of the things that we believe that AI does not just have the potential to do things in real time, deriving logic while thinking, but also incorporate organizational learnings into future things. Because at the time of an incident, you don't have the time to go through past documentation, past RCAs. The team would have churned since this thing happened the last time. How many times are you going to be there with the team while they are doing a small database upgrade or something like that? So, but AI agents who are constantly there with the team wherever the teams are present is going to just do a fantastic job at preserving and surfacing this organizational knowledge whenever it's needed.
Correct. AI will be that employee which will forever retain with you, 100% retention. And it will just consume all information that you have learned and taught as an organization, and be able to take actions on it later.
Absolutely. What are some of the other nightmares? I'm sorry to push you to recall your nightmares, but this is the most interesting part.
I mean, a lot of nightmares recently have also happened. They happened more to my team than me. But yeah, I empathize. Basically, we use a lot of Redis, a lot of caching layer. And we kept seeing that Redis is spiking in the night. A lot of traffic is coming onto it. Now, Redis is not something which is very monitorable. You can see number of connections. Maybe you can see what kind of queries are going on. We've put Prometheus Grafana on it. We were seeing, okay, this query is coming very frequently and it is pulling Redis down. We just couldn't find out why and from where. And I'm sure we must have not done great tracing. I think monitoring is also keeps evolving. We might not have done great at it. And we racked our brains for almost a week on it. Every night this used to happen. First, you just add more replicas and just bear that cost. But slowly and slowly, we started realizing that how we are using Redis itself was, I think, wrong. We should have used something else, some other kind of database for it. And then we moved majority of our things that we were on Redis to ScyllaDB, which is meant much more for faster reads and writes and stores information on disk rather than on RAM like Redis does. So it is a much cheaper solution. We were using some Redis classes, some storage classes, which makes our life easier. But at the scale that we are operating now, I mean, like a Redis set or a sorted set would become too big to manage. Then you have to figure out ways how you can do it. You have to pre-query, or at the time of a write, you have to create a materialized view, and keep that information readily available for fetch immediately. So we did a lot of things on ScyllaDB, we did a lot of things on ClickHouseDB to be able to manage that. So that is also another learning. It is not just that infrastructure breaks. Sometimes when you build a feature or build something, you build it. You don't want to build it for million people at scale at every point in time. Sometimes things are just experiments. Maybe you're going to just trash all that code within 2 months. Yeah. So you build it for small set of users to experiment, and then you take a tech debt that we will build it for scale later. But then you tend to forget the tech debt.
You need to pay back your debts in time.
So now we have tried to keep a timeline on every debt that we have. Every debt is either 6 months ka loan, 2 saal ka loan. 30 साल की लोन लेके आई थिंक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर नहीं चल सकता. सो वी कीप टेक डेट विद टाइमलाइंस एंड देन वी हैव टू रिजॉल्व देम व्हेन द टाइम कम्स. So yeah, this is another thing that I have learned.
And the obvious things such as Redis, right? I remember one of our scenarios at .NET. Someone implemented something where they were actually storing a list in a Redis set, and they had to maybe find like a maximum or something. So they were pulling it in memory on the Node.js application and then sorting in Node.js. So it failed not at Node.js, but it failed because Redis was sending too much data to the application.
Bandwidth itself.
Yeah, bandwidth itself. And that choked the Redis thread, because of which the whole, and then obviously it all cascades down to everything, right? But yeah, such obvious, I mean, Redis is like, in very simple terms, it's a key and a value pair kind of store, right? But it has a lot of constructs that, if not used properly, can lead to disasters, which have happened in your case, which happened in our case as well. But yeah, I think this is one of the key things that I believe, knowing about the data stores, the intricacies of the data stores is like the first thing that any engineer has to do.
Correct.
And especially young engineers, they like, if there's one thing, and I always recommend any young engineer, if there's one book that they should ever read, it should be Designing Data Intensive Applications. The second book should be Internals of Databases. Like, these are so powerful books that they empower you to take the right decisions. And as you said, right, when writing code is becoming cheaper, the cost of these decisions is something which is the highest in the whole chain. And knowing what to do in various scenarios is the most powerful thing now.
Right. Pearls of Wisdom by GT, guys. You should store this. Remember this.
The last part that I'll ask you is any advice for engineers who may be watching right now? But anything that you would want to cover, any interesting things or stories or gyan?
So basically, my philosophy of my team has always been that I hire young folks. When I say young folks, they're either freshers, or we get people who are doing internships in their last semester, and then I give them problems to solve, and that's how I see them grow. And I think it has worked out best for us as a company also, and I see these people also perform much better or be much better than lateral people that I interview later. So in that journey, I have interviewed a lot of freshers and interns recently, and I see people are relying very heavily on AI, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I mean, if AI can help you build something very quickly, build your vision very quickly, I think you should utilize it. Where they're failing is understanding the why of it. Why AI has taken such a decision, why this code works in this way, why you have written these functions, you've broken down this function into many parts. Now these whys, you have to be curious about this output. Whatever output is being generated from AI, whatever output was earlier probably being generated by your peer or your senior, you have to be curious about it. You have to learn it. You have to understand it. This is the biggest thing that I believe people should work on. You have to be curious to go deeper into the whys. Something I have learned in YC, something I've learned building in whole entrepreneurial journey. Whenever you want to build anything, you have to go into the why of what people want. Similar, that kind of a thought process should exist in every walk of your life. It will help you understand the the core basics of it. If you keep going into whys, you would want to understand why the database works in a certain way. Why should I use this database? Why did my database break after upgrading? So these whys will help you learn. And this is what I keep telling everyone in my team, that keep going into whys. I'll give you big problems. I'll give you scale problems. I'll give you infrastructure which is breaking. I don't want you to be afraid of it. Just go into the whys of what has happened to you, or what you are building. And I mean, you will become a great engineer, a great person, somebody who will keep scaling in your life. I call it growth mindset. But the framework to be in growth mindset is going into the whys.
That's amazing. I guess that piece of wisdom brings us to an end of this amazing conversation with Vipul. Vipul, thanks a lot for joining us in
Thank you.
Breaking Prod.
Thank you for
And
calling me,
we
GT.
and we hope that you don't ever break prod again. We will be supporting you in that, but yeah, I hope that your prod never breaks.
Thank you. But I believe we will keep breaking the prod. I mean, that's how we learn.
That's true. Amazing. Thank you so much, Vipul.
Thank you, GT.